Hello, everybody, and welcome back to MTG Community Spotlight. This is episode 2, and I have another amazing guest. My guest today is Emmara, Goddessofblunder. You catch her on Twitch, you catch her on Twitter. She streams Sunday, Wednesday, Fridays, every week. Sunday at 1 and 9, Wednesday at 9, and Friday at 9. Did I do that right?
That is correct.
Yes. Perfect. And again, I'm lucky. I get to have another one of my friends sit down and talk Magic and do a fun collaborative deck build. So as the story goes, I said, Emmara, I want you to be on my show, and she said, awesome, hell yeah, I'm totally there. I said, great. What commander do you want to do? And she goes, well, I have Wilson and Shameless Charlatan, and it's fun, but I want it to be more fun. I said, okay, cool. So I'm gonna make a list, and you either mess around with your list and update it, or leave it as is, and then we're gonna come on the show and we're gonna slam the two together and we're gonna have a great time doing it. So that's pretty much how it went, right?
Yep, I'm excited. I was like, it wins, but it needs to win more.
So one of the things that you said was that it didn't quite have a win condition. So with the deck strategy, what do you want to do? And then I'll let you know what my take was.
Okay, so basically, like, the win condition was just, I'm trying to overrun you with bears. It wasn't a creative solution. It was very simple. It was like, we put out as many bears as we can, clone them, and throw them at people. So, and then I also didn't include anything like overrun or any way to make those bears actually dangerous, besides Triumph of the Hordes. So it was basically missing board wipes, it was missing anything to just take over the game and win the game. So, yeah. Looking to find some ways for it to actually do what it needs to do.
Dope. So obviously, a deck wants a win condition unless it's just a dirtily fun, right? Like group hug decks with no real win conditions and stuff like that, which I love to play sometimes. But so I went clone heavy, and we are going to take advantage of this one right here, Biovisionary. So Biovisionary is for 1 green and a blue, and at the beginning of the end step, if you control 4 or more creatures named Biovisionary, you win the game. So I have it packed full of creature tutors that can get you Biovisionary. I have stuff that you can get your clones. I have cards in here that will pull it back from exile if somebody likes the path or swords it. So I think this is going to be super fun, and I'm excited because I love Simic. I love blue and I love green, so this is right up my alley. It's super great. Yeah. Did you also, when you were tinkering, did you decide to put Biovisionary in as well?
I put that and Master Biomancer in there because I was like, oh, you know what? I love +1/+1 counters.
Counters are super good, and when we're making copies of things, it's kind of like, I see what you have there, but I could do it better. So I'm just gonna copy it too.
Exactly. Not to mention, like, +1/+1 counters when Wilson changes forms stay on him. So even if his power is changing to something different, we're still keeping him buff and tough.
Rough, buff, and tough. But the rest of the Bear Clan, they had to scoot. They had to make room for Wilson's other friends. So. In regards to the strategy and stuff like that, I have a little question for you. So, what goals have you set forth for yourself? Whether they be, in the community, short-term goals, long-term goals, personal stuff, anything you kind of want to chat about?
I'm basically just trying to grow out my community that I have right now. Like, I've been trying to invite new people on each month just to give people chances of other people who are just starting out streaming, because I know if somebody wouldn't have given me a chance, then I wouldn't have actually been able to continue doing what I'm doing. So, like, basically just trying to grow the community, find those nice, sweet people, and go from there. I've got lots of plans for extra streaming stuff, and got content stuff that I got recording, and got a lot of things going on.
all of
Not
that
to
makes
mention
me
Philly
super
next week,
excited.
yeah.
Philly is next week, and that's one of the reasons why
Yes.
we're here right now, because I wanted to jam this episode in and get it done and up before we go. Now, I get to hang with you again, which is amazing, and I can co-sign on what you said, because I was one of those people that you had on your show when I was like, I just had the glimmer of my eye of wanting to do something like this and make some content. Streaming is not really on the table for me. I'm just a little too busy to do that consistently. But I see you out there, and the community loves you, and we're all behind you, because you're an awesome, inclusive human being.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. So I you know what? I know you do, and a lot of other people know you do also. And from as far as I know, everybody appreciates you and what you do. So, we're gonna start by so when you build a deck, do you kind of like separate it out into the generalized sections? Whether
usually.
card draw, ramp, those types of things.
That's usually what I do. I'll start stacking stuff that I'm like, okay, I have an idea for a deck, a glimmer of deck there, and I'm just like, okay, I'll just start setting things aside.
All right,
I'm
perfect.
like, okay, that might go in the deck, this might go in the deck, and then once I get a big enough stack, I'm like, okay, that's almost looking like a commander deck size. Then I just sort everything out, and I'm like, okay, let's see what we have here, and then what are we missing, and then I go from there.
Perfect, because that's kind of how I do it too. So this will make things nice and smooth. So we're gonna start with card draw. So I in my list I put some tags up. So in my card draw area, it seems a little low with 6. The majority of them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 5 out of the 6 are repetitive. So that's why I was like, okay, 6, we have a lot of tutor pieces that we're going to go over in a little bit. But let's go over some draw pieces, see if you like them, see if you want to switch anything out or you're feeling good about it or not. So I have, for the first one, I have Beast Whisperer. Figure it's a creature. It can be copied or cloned if need be, if you want to really ramp up the card draw. And I mean, it's a solid 4-drop repetitive card draw card. So are you good with Beast Whisperer?
Oh yeah, I love
cool.
Beast Whisperer. It's on my list, so.
Perfect. Mystic Remora.
I'm always in for the fish.
Perfect, yeah. This is what I like to hear. Rhystic Study.
And Rhystic Study.
If there's a Mystic, there's a Rhystic.
Exactly. Gotta put it in there. I love Rhystic Study too.
Good.
I don't mind asking if you want to pay the one.
I'll ask all day.
As long as it's getting me cards, I don't care.
The next is Runic Armasaur. I thought it was pretty good. And then Shamanic Revelation, because we're going to hopefully put a bunch of creatures out, so you'll be able to draw a card for each one. And then a Tatiova.
Oh, Tatiova, yeah. I will always put her in my deck if I'm playing Simic.
So you're doing kind of what you want to do. Now, in regards to the rest of it, I'm thinking like Tatiova is still pretty good, even if you're not, even if your ramp, right, even if your ramp is creature based and not land based, there's still 30 something lands in the deck, so it'll pop. But in regards to like Shamanic Revelation,
I'm not sure.
do we maybe want to change that to maybe something like what's that green one? Guardian, like a Guardian Project?
That Guardian Project.
Now, are there any other favorite draw spells of yours that I didn't list or talk about or anything like that? Because if there are, especially like hardcore favorites of yours, we put them in, and then we can trim and cut the fat later on to fit whatever we want into it.
I've been fiddling with some of the new Phyrexia cards.
Okay.
Phyrexia cards.
Yeah.
And the two Zeniths, the blue one and the green one,
Okay.
are both awesome.
Okay.
The blue Zenith, if you pay over 5x, clones the creature that you are taking. You steal a creature and then you clone that creature, which is awesome.
Okay. I like this.
I've got to do that a couple of times, and it's pretty great. And then the green one lets you actually go in and you look at the top X cards. If it's over 5, you just put a creature into land onto the battlefield. It doesn't matter what they are, doesn't matter what the cost is, so it's not like Finale of Devastation.
I mean,
it's just whatever the top cards are.
I mean, that certainly counts as a bit of card draw / advantage, considering you're essentially cheating costs and putting stuff directly onto the battlefield, right? Cool.
Yep, which is pretty cool.
So
I love cheating things out, and getting extra for things I'm all about. And seeing as this, like, if we're going like with a lot of ramp and stuff and having a lot of mana to do things, like I feel like both of those work really well.
All right, cool. So we're gonna slot that one in, and you want the blue one too?
Yeah.
We'll put in Twilight, Blue Sun's Twilight, and this is gonna be gain control and copy effect. Well, I mean, both of them work with exactly what we're doing. They're X spells, so you can pump it in and up that whenever you want. So cool. All right, great. Any other draw cards that you are that you like lean towards?
Not really.
Okay.
Actually, like those are like my main 2 is like Ristic.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's good for sure. They're all strong card draw cards, and they besides the Twilight and besides the Twilight, they're all repetitive. They're permanents. So we'll be able to hopefully protect and keep them safe, and let us continue to draw cards with them. So that's cool. Ready for the next question?
Yes.
So
I'm prepared.
what drew you to the Magic community, and what are some of your favorite parts about it? Now, this can be you're in my age bracket, so you could be talking about kind of like the community that we're both in now. You can talk about when you first got into it, which is probably like me, centuries ago. Kind of like whatever part that you want to talk about. But like I mean, you're here, right? And you're here for a reason. So what brought you here?
Well, long ago, in a galaxy far, far away. I started Magic in '94.
I was in that galaxy too.
I originally I used to collect like sports cards and like superhero cards, and then I ended up finding Magic cards. Somebody was selling them like singles, and I was like, oh, this is really cool art. So I just bought them. Had no idea it was a game. I didn't know what was going on. I was just like, oh, these are really cool cards. I was like Plague Rats and Pestilence, and I still have most of those cards, but like I was like, oh, that's really cool. And then eventually I found it like in Wizard magazine. I think they had a thing about Magic in there. And I was like, oh, it's a game. And then I ended up finding starter decks, and then I bought some and then forced my friends to play. That's basically the story, is I just keep forcing people through the 30 years to play Magic with me.
Sounds about right.
So like all my friend groups every couple of years, like because we were stationed in California at the time. So I had my friend group there, and then after we moved back to New York, so then I forced a bunch of people that were around me to play Magic there. And then it's just kind of continued from there. But now I'm actually doing what I want to do and make decks and play with people all over the place, all over the world, which is super awesome. Like Spell Table has enabled it, that I'm not just stuck in my little stagnant area with just one person to play with. So that's been great to be able to play with people all around the world, and like I have groups of people that I can play with at any time and be like, hey, you want to play? And that's amazing. I love it.
It really is one of those mind-blowing kind of experiences and things that happened, right? Like, this is a card game. You play card games with people in front of you.
Yeah.
And then COVID happened, and it changed the world completely. But then stuff like this happened, and it's awesome. And because of you, I've been able to play with people from the UK and from all over the place. And it's awesome because we all know that we have one thing in common, right? And that's the game. And the love of the game and having the interactions and stuff like that. So Right on. I support that answer to my question wholeheartedly, 100%.
I love it. Like, it's just been so cool meeting people I never thought I would get to play with, like big name Magic celebrities. They're like rock stars to me, but it's like, but like getting to play with so many people that I've watched play on YouTube or mostly YouTube videos and things for the last decade. Getting to play with them is so surreal.
It's a wild experience. Literally have the same experiences, and it's very warming and like fulfilling and, like you said, surreal, right? Because you're just like,
yeah.
What,
I'm trying not to act giddy.
What is going on right now? This is insane. I still get like that. I listen, when I'm excited, I am the biggest kid you'll ever meet, and I find that to be a good thing because you will feel and understand like that I am 100% genuine with it. Like it is, I am super stoked for what we're doing right now, and I'm gonna freak out and like be like a raging goblin about it. But it's awesome. So we're gonna shoot to the next part. And we're going to do ramp. I have, a couple of artifacts, just like standard, super efficient, good artifacts for ramp. The majority of it, though, I kept with dorks. And the reason that I did that was because if we're having all these clones and we need mana, we can just start cloning the dorks if we have to. How do you feel about that? And would you rather switch it more to spells and landfall type stuff?
I would almost say spells and landfall.
Okay.
I
mean, it's going to be a very quick fix. So.
Yeah.
So all right,
because,
yeah, go ahead.
Like, some mana dorks here and there, but I feel like if we have too many of them, we don't have as many creatures that we want to copy.
We might have to depend on them.
Yeah, and I don't want to depend on them, especially if they get board wiped or if they get. Yeah, I worry about creature.
Totally, 100% fair. So we'll go over this. I'll do it by mana value. So 1-drops. We got Utopia Sprawl. Solid 1 green, enters the battlefield, enchant a forest, choose a color. Boom. It taps for that for green and the chosen color. So green and blue, double green, whatever you want.
That is good times. I will keep that.
Okay, Soul Ring.
Soul Ring. Oh, what a Soul Ring.
Yeah, I mean,
it's a Soul Ring.
It's a Soul Ring. It's a Soul Ring.
We'll put the cool looking one in there though.
Mm-hmm. Next we have Birds of Paradise.
Classic. I do like Birds of Paradise. Birds of Paradise, yes, because it also has evasion, so if we pump it up or whatnot, we can use it as a attacker sometimes, which is always great, because nobody has, for some reason, flying wins games.
I mean, sometimes, right? I don't have. I have all these. I have 999 creatures on the ground, and I have 1 hit point left. Here's a 1/1 flying Thopter to kill you.
That's all you need.
Arcane Signet.
Arcane Signet we'll keep.
Okay. So
yeah.
I forgot the rest of the 1-drops here, but okay. So we have Llanowar, Finhorn, and Elvish Mystic. So we have the 1-drop, 1 green mana dorks.
We'll probably keep all 3 of those.
Okay.
I like the 1 mana ones are great.
Mm-hmm.
What are these?
Mara Leaf Pixie. Taps for a green or a blue. Flying, 2/2, green and a blue.
I do like flying. Okay, we'll keep Mara Leaf Pixie.
Alright, cool. And then...
I think it's more dangerous than a bird. I don't know.
So, I guess what I'll say is, already on the list, I have Cultivate, I have Nature's Lore, I have Rampant Growth, and I have Sky Shroud Claim, which I feel are the 4 best, Sky Shroud Claim, you get 2 forests, and they come in untapped. Rampant Growth, super great. 2 mana, drop 1 down, and Cultivate 1 to the hand and 1 to the battlefield. So, and then the last one is Paradise Druid, which is good because it's 1 mana of any color, and as long as it's untapped, it has Hexproof. It's a 2/1.
Yeah.
So do you want to cut that one?
Yeah, we'll cut that one.
Okay.
Cut Paradise Druid. We don't need you. Sorry, Paradise.
Sorry, PD.
Yeah, you lose your power when you tap, which is not cool.
So that's good. So right now that's 12 ramp pieces.
To replace that, maybe we put a burgeoning.
Ooh.
I love burgeoning.
So
let's throw all of our lands out.
So let's see. We have I have 32 lands in right now with 12 pieces of ramp. Now, if we want, I mean, we're building the deck together, so you tell me.
Yeah, because we don't. 32. Oh, John, that's so little lands.
Well, it's 32. We also have glass.
We did have all the mana dorks.
We have Glasspool Mimic, which is an MDFC.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So that's 33, and then we have the 12 bits of ramp. A lot of our stuff doesn't go over 4 mana.
Yeah, so I guess we'd probably be okay mana-wise.
But you tell me, if you want to up it by a couple.
Let's not do the burgeoning. And what other mana dorks are there?
Yeah, what ramp spell you want to throw in? You want to throw in like Kadama's Reach?
Yeah, let's just throw Kadama's Reach. Okay, that's a classic.
Yes, it is.
Good old Kadama's Reach.
Good old Kadama's Reach going right into the ramp section.
Yeah, we should be fine then.
All right, 13. And then we got, yeah, that seems pretty good. We got 33 for the land base because of the MDFC. Any other ramp that you had on your list?
Nope, I just had those 4.
That's wild. I mean, well, it's also very
Classics.
good. We're on. That means that we're on the same page, so that's really, really good. Makes this good. All right, so this is going to bring me to my next question, Em. What are some of the minor or major accomplishments that you feel have accelerated your presence in this community, or have just accelerated your life in a more positive way?
I will say that the community itself has definitely made my life more positive. Like, just having people to talk to every day, people have gone out of their way to ask me how I am and stuff, and that doesn't happen in the real world. So not that the internet's not the real world, but like, I don't know, the community has been great to me, and like, I enjoy being able to give back, because a lot of times I'll have extra cards and whatnot, and I would rather just have them go to somebody else that can use them and just brighten people's days. I don't know. Getting mail is great when you get it from other people. Yeah, I think just being able to play Magic at a scheduled time with people throughout the week has made my days better. Like, I know I have something to look forward to. I know I'm going to be playing with good people, having fun, and yeah, so it's definitely made my life better that way, for sure.
So, scheduled bucket filling.
Yes, basically.
I get it. I get it. I get it a lot.
I feel like I wouldn't be able to play nearly as often if I didn't, just because I originally just started guesting on people's streams, and then after that I was like, I want to play more Magic. I was like, I'm only getting to play like once or twice a week, so I was like, you know what, I'll just make my own channel. So that I started streaming like twice a week on my own channel and guesting like 2 or 3 places during the week, and then I was like, you know what, I want to play some more Magic, so I had it like 2 more times during the week. So just on my own channel I play like 4 times a week, which is great. It gives me something to do, keeps me out of trouble, and keeps other people out of trouble, I guess, probably too.
Well, I mean, like, I gotta say, one of literally my most favorite things to do on stream is play Plane Chase with you, because it's always hilarious and an absolute riot.
I love playing like the other versions of Magic and like trying to combine them together with Commander to make them work.
Absolutely. I mean, the fact that the last time we played, I believe I dropped 6 lands on turn 1. Was that our game, right?
Yeah, it was pretty gross.
Yeah, it was amazing.
I love the chaos factor of it all. Like, it add, even if you have a highly optimized deck, Plane Chase can just ruin your world.
Yeah. Well, that's it, we were talking about like, so what are the power levels? I was like, I don't think power levels really matter during Plane Chase, because like what happens in Plane Chase stays in Plane Chase, you know?
Yeah. Everything just goes bad sometimes. Like, I've had, like, last night was just awful for everybody. The plane killed somebody.
I think I killed somebody. I think I accidentally hit draw a card and took someone out.
You did. You did. You did. It was pretty great. Jeremy would have died last turn, or when he drew a card anyway at the beginning of the turn, so it's okay.
Fair. Okay, I don't feel so bad now then.
Yeah. So just the plane, chat, and me killed somebody that turn game.
So all right, cool. So like the community, I guess where you are in the community is an accomplishment in and of itself, right?
Yeah. It feels like I've accomplished something.
Well, I mean, not for anything. Were you not, invited as a creator to Magic 30?
That I was.
That's an accomplishment, no?
I know that is an accomplishment. I'm not good at tooting my own horn.
Okay, well, you know what? You're lucky because I'm really good at tooting other people's horns.
There you go, to toot my horn.
So, and that's amazing. And are you keeping the cosplay hush-hush, or are you...
No, I've just been slowly putting pictures up and whatnot. Like, I'm not actually participating, like, in the cosplay contest, because I was like, I don't know what I'm doing, so...
Well, you're just gonna have fun. Do you want to let everybody know what you're doing?
Oh, yes, I'm going to be Ashnod the Uncaring, and I'm going to be very spiky and pointy. If you see me, feel free to come and say hi to me.
Just don't go in for a hug, because you will get stabbed.
Yeah, you probably will get poked by something. Which, I apologize if that happens on mistake, because I've almost taken out cats so far, and doorways, and I'm like, oh no, this is a lot, my door frames are a lot smaller than normal, but like... it sticks off a lot further than I thought it was. So. But I'm very excited I'm gonna roam around in my cosplay. If you want pictures, feel free to come and say hi. I look menacing with my tattoos and whatnot. I'm a sweetheart most of the time, so
I assure you.
Feel free to say hi.
She is not menacing.
I look menacing. My parents always tell me I look like a criminal. And I'm like, thanks, guys.
Appreciate it. Thank you. We're going to move to removal, which is one of my favorite parts, actually, because I really like kind of crafting, especially decks where you don't have to lean heavily into what the deck's doing, because a lot of times I feel like the removal part kind of suffers from it, At least in my case. It's definitely not in everybody's case. But so for removal, I put together a suite of destroy and counters. So we got destroy effects, we got counter spells. For removal, what do you have down, or what are some of your favorite removal spells in blue and green?
Mana Drain.
Okay, so you like Mana Drain. Perfect.
Love me my Mana Drain.
No problem. Let's put Mana Drain in 100%. So,
Aetherize. I love Aetherize.
Okay.
I love things that throw the game completely off.
That's okay. I mean, listen, that's protection.
Yeah, like it's just like, do you want to attack me? Here you go. Have all your stuff back.
And how many times has Aetherize been the gotcha moment everybody needed?
Yep, and everybody. It always surprises people too.
It's like, what? No!
What are you doing?
So we got perfect. Okay, what else? What else you got?
Oh, what is that other one called? It's the one that turns everything into boars, but exiles the cards.
Curse of the Swine.
Yes, Curse of the Swine.
Okay, Curse of the Swine, because it exiles.
I like exiling things. That's if I can choose between destroying, exiling. Like, graveyards are just another hand to a lot of people.
Sure.
So sometimes things just need to be removed from the game so I don't have to see them again.
I totally 100% get it.
Yeah,
no, go ahead.
I've been leaning into like -1 counters, like board wipes a lot now, just because of indestructible creatures.
Yeah,
Unfortunately, we can't do that in these colors, but like with black, like Tristali's.
Well, I mean, I think it's
like
it's strong. Like the bounce effects are strong, right? Because you're just like, nope, go ahead and replay that. You're essentially wasting people's turns by doing stuff like that. So I'm all about it.
Yeah, wasting people's resources is one of my favorite things to do. Waste them for them.
All right, so let's see. Okay, so you put in Mana Drain. I had a Psych Rift, because it's modal. It could be single target. It could be everything. Cool. Beast Within, very standard. It's nice. Hits any permanent. So I've been using Kenrith's transformation a lot in my green decks, because of the fact that it shuts creatures off completely if they're too problematic. And you get to draw a card, which is fun. But how do you feel? How do you feel about Kenrith's transformation? It is 2 mana.
Yeah, I mean you're drawing a card and you're basically just turning off a creature that's nasty. And there's a lot of nasty creatures running around right now. So.
I mean, I would totally rather a Blightsteel Colossus be a 3/3 elk.
Exactly.
You know,
or also Imprisoned in the Moon is always.
Oh, you're absolutely right. I am a very big fan of Imprisoned in the Moon. So all right, let's put that one in.
You don't really see it that often, which is weird because like it basically just gets rid of a card.
To be honest, I think that I mean with mono blue at least, there's a. To be honest, I don't know. That's a good question. Maybe because it's 3 mana and most removal is like 1 and 2, but you're shutting something off completely. Which is like pretty good. All right.
It's still making colorless mana, but like.
So we put in Mana Drain. I'm gonna take out Mystic Snake because I was leaning more towards like creature stuff. So we'll shift out Mystic Snake unless you're a huge fan, and we can certainly keep it in.
No, we can go at Mystic Snake.
And then I have Pongify, Rapid Hybridization, and Reclamation Sage. That is 11 pieces of removal. I do not think we need that many. But how much do you run usually?
I usually only run probably like 8 pieces.
Right.
Depending, like maybe 2 board wipes and like 6 pieces of like direct removal.
Right. So we have Aetherize and we have the Psych Rift for full boards. We got 2 counter spells. I have a Rec Sage coming in to destroy artifact or enchantment, which I feel is important.
Yes.
So do you want to dump either one or the other, Rapid Hybridization or Pongify? We'll just keep one of those effects.
Yeah, we'll just get rid of.
We'll get rid of the Rapid. Do you like Pongify or Rapid better?
Let me see. They both do the same thing, don't they?
You want Monkey or Frog Lizard?
Oh man, let's go. Oh, that's a hard choice. Let's keep the Monkey.
All right, we'll keep
I like the art on the Monkey. It's just like it's so mad.
So maybe we're down to 10 pieces of removal. You want to just for flavor's sake and because we just like Imprisoned in the Moon better because there's Emrakul on it, we'll dump the Kenrith's transformation. But Kenrith's transformation does draw you a card.
Yeah, I know. That's the thing is I like to draw cards.
and
we need to draw cards, so I'm just like.
But on the other hand, right, Imprisoned in the Moon hits creatures, lands, or planeswalkers, which is starting to become a little bit more of a relevant thing.
There's a lot of gross Super Friends decks going on right now. And being able to hit lands sometimes is very important. Nixos is bad.
Mm-hmm.
Cradles are bad.
All right, well, let's do this.
Sometimes even Urborg is bad.
Let's keep it at 10, and we'll come back to it.
Yeah, that works.
But
we'll see what we do elsewhere.
We'll come back to that. That's not a big deal. And also, I guess for removal, I have Scavenging Ooze in the deck for Graveyard Hate.
That makes sense.
Figure.
Bajuku Bog. Oh, we can't have a Bajuku
No,
Bog.
we can't have.
We're not in the right color.
We can't have a Bajuka Bog.
I love Bajuku Bog. Maybe we'll put a Sentinel Totem in there. I love.
I mean, it's
kind of removal.
I mean, it's Graveyard Hate. It's removal,
Yeah, and it's kind of a Graveyard Hate that you can just sit out and be like, yeah, do you want to come and fuck with this? You want me to destroy your graveyard? Sentinel
Totem. Okay, so that's.
You get to scry one.
I mean, it's you got your finger on the trigger for people that want to mess around with the graveyard. So, and if not, you scry one for one. Oh well.
Yep. and worst comes to worst, at some point you got to destroy somebody's graveyard, just in case.
You know what? I don't know what you're doing, but we're gonna get rid of that. That's gonna bring us to our next question, and this is one of the more fun ones I get to ask people. So, in being removal, right, the part that we just did, is there anything that is kind of like burning your biscuits or kind of rubbing you the wrong way within the community, like, or in your personal life that you want to see resolved in a healthy or beneficial way that you're willing to talk about?
I wish everybody would just not make such a big deal out of cards supposedly destroying the format, or like before they're even out, before they even get to play test them, before they get to see them in the wild. Like people start fights over things like that, and like I try to stay out of them just because like it's just silly, because it's your personal opinion. Like you can't force your personal opinion on someone, so like everybody just needs to chill. That's what it's just so silly, because like so often it's not an issue, and like I guess because we deal with things differently, because we're not just jumping in pods most of the time with random people or strangers. We're usually setting up our games, so we talk about what we're playing, we see the decks that we're playing, we know what we're getting into. When we look at a deck and be like, okay, yep, that's what I'm going to be playing.
Exactly.
These are the cards here. Like, and I don't want to tell people they can't play with something. Like, that's not my place. I want them to have fun, and I want them to enjoy things. So a lot of times that's how we balance things out. So like, I know we live in different universes for like streaming wise and game wise, but like, yeah, we're still like, everybody should be able to just chill out.
Well, I get, it goes back to, I mean, not all of it, but, a good portion of it goes back to how important the Rule Zero conversation is, and
yes,
how communication is like the most important thing when sitting at a table to play with people, because, the whole like power level thing is so skewed, and
yes.
I hope more people understand and realize that. I think most people do at this point, where asking a power level is subjective completely. However, if you ask, what turn does your deck look to win by, it gives people a better understanding on what deck that they should maybe play with it to keep up with it, or to maybe pump the brakes on what they're doing. Because if you're saying, oh yeah, my deck wins by turn 4, and everyone's like, oh, mine usually goes like 8, 9, it's like, battle of attrition decks. Yeah, you might want to pump the brakes and pull it back a little bit. So okay, yeah, that's okay. That's a good one to talk about for sure. And I think we would all love to see everybody just be super lax and chill when playing games, and not get into an uproar about stuff. Because you're right, it's a game that we play made out of cardboard rectangles.
Yep, and we're just trying to have fun with each other.
Just trying to have fun.
Ruining everybody else's fun, not great. Like,
yeah.
And like being able to be, because I usually ask, okay, do you have combos in your deck? Just let us know what the combos are, so we know what to look for or what to stop. And usually, if we're in playing, well, they'll be like, okay, I got this piece out, I just need this. So we know what we're looking for.
Yeah.
Because there are so many combos, and there's so many things. There's so many cards that you can't possibly know all of them, even though my brain tries to.
I was going to say, like, my brain tries to and just starts melting. So now we're going to shoot over to support and protection. So, we can also, because this with the support and protection that I have listed, it's that we can kind of shift over into the cards that are going to do what we want to do to win. So for support, we have E-Witness to bring stuff back in the graveyard. Good for you. Good with that?
I'm always good with Eternal Witness.
Heroic Intervention.
Yes.
Noxious Revival.
Noxious Revival.
Yep. Pay 1 Phyrexian green, put target card from a graveyard on top of its owner's library. So you can do it to yourself, you can do it to somebody else.
Okay, yeah. We might need to get things back.
Exactly.
And paying life, I'm always about.
I also have Reclaim, which is just a 1 green mana instant, put a target card from your graveyard on your library, so it's just for you. With an E-Witness and a Noxious Revival, I think that might be one too many. And then I have Rip Sweeper, which will pull something back from exile, which I think we should keep considering we have one card that is our true win condition.
Yeah, let's get rid of Reclaim just
Okay.
because Noxus we can play anytime.
Yep.
Or for life, which.
Wonderful. Life
That's
is a
value.
resource.
Yep, exactly.
So in regards to like support cards, so just like helping or protection, anything else that you like or want to see?
It's not necessarily a support card.
But what is it?
Unnatural Growth. It's an enchantment. At the beginning of each combat, double the power and toughness of each creature you control. So it's every combat, and I love it so much.
Okay, so what is it called again?
Unnatural Growth. It's an enchantment.
Oh, that was from one of the last Innistrad one, right?
Yeah. Like, it's just gross just because every combat and our creatures probably aren't going to be super big, but it'll make them scarier.
One. I know that one. I'm going to put that in Hydras.
Yeah, it's gross. You should also put, I also have this on the list, so Pandrel, the Hunger Dominus.
Oh, yeah. It
also does the same exact thing.
Ooh.
So if both of them are out, yeah, it's disgusting.
The Dominus cycle is just brutal, for sure. Sure. And then I have... So, oh, you know what? I'm sorry. The land base is actually up a little bit more because I also have Alchemist Refuge. So Alchemist Refuge, I thought giving Flash to creatures would be good because we can, the gotcha moment of up, there you go, boom, done, and that's it. Kind of like surprise people. So, I have the Alchemist Refuge, I have Vidalcan Orrery, and I have Vivian, Champion of the Wilds. Obviously, Vivian will be good because you can cast creature spells as though they had Flash. Great. Vidalcan Orrery is everything. How do you feel about the addition of Flash to the deck?
Oh, I love Flash.
Okay, you love Flash. Do you want to keep all three?
Yeah, let's keep all three pieces.
Okay.
Because I like playing things on other people's gear.
Yeah, for sure.
Especially like just to keep up my creatures safe through a turn cycle is important sometimes. Especially like Wilson doesn't cost a lot, but he can be killed. So
exactly.
And he will die.
Yeah. He's going to die, and you're going to have to recast him, and then it just keeps growing and growing and growing. So I think let's take the Scepter out. How do you feel about that?
I feel we probably should. I feel like it might be too slow for what we're trying to do. I'm thinking the Scepter can go.
Okay. All right,
cool. Then we can put something else in its place.
Yeah, because right now we haven't even gone over the meat and potatoes yet, and we're only 4 cards over. So like, no, we're not bad at all. And there's definitely some stuff to deal with for sure. Like to pull out. I'm not worried about that. So, I know we probably should have done this closer to the card draw area, but we'll use tutors as support because it is card draw, but it's also kind of supporting what we're trying to do and trying to get to those things. The cards that we want is faster than usual, right? Yeah. So the tutor effects that I have are Birthing Pod, Fauna Shaman, Finale of Devastation, Mystical Tutor, Prime Speaker Vanifar, Protean Hulk, Uncage the Menagerie, and Worldly Tutor.
I do. Finale can stay. I always keep Finale no matter what. It's so gross.
You want to dump either the Pod or Fauna Shaman?
I do like Fauna Shaman, so I'm like, I do like Birthing Pod, but it's just probably because I like Birthing.
Well, why don't we dump Vanifar because you can activate Birthing Pod right away. Vanifar you can't.
Yeah, let's get rid of Vanifar, and she's a body that'll probably end up getting killed because she scares people.
Yeah, it's a target for sure, 100%. Protean Hulk is one of my favorites. It's in my pet my pet deck, my Netherite deck.
Yeah, Protean Hulk is really good.
Yeah,
and it'll help us get us things that we need to
and
win.
it's one of the very few. So we have that's our 1/7 mana value, and then we have 2 mana value of 5 cards. So like all of our cards are the majority of them are 4 and under. So it's going to be pretty efficient, and we'll hopefully stay on curve pretty well.
Yeah. So I think that should. What else do we have? We had Worldly Tutor.
Worldly Tutor, Mystical Tutor.
Yeah, keep both those. That'll help us go get things that we do need.
Yeah.
Or if we need removal, we have a spell that we can just go get our removal.
Well, like I guess the benefit was that both of us came up with the same win condition for the new So, I think 7 ways or 6 ways to tutor that thing out, and also pieces to clone them, I think is pretty good. It may seem excessive in some decks, but like, and I know we're not. This is certainly not a CEDH deck or some sort of like 8 and 9. Like, but it's gonna be fun, and it's gonna be strong, and it's gonna be very interactive, right? Whether it be cloning our own stuff, cloning other people's stuff, I kind of see it as like it's gonna be as strong as everybody else is playing, except for when we go for the win.
Yeah.
So I'm going to ask you if you have any regrets, or are there any experiences or situations that you wish you could kind of clean slated?
Yeah, being a jerk when I was younger.
Totally fair. I get this.
I was an ass. I was not nice to people. I was your typical teenager / 20-something kid who thought they knew everything and said inappropriate things to try to be shocking and do all that kind of stuff, and I regret all that stuff, and it was just a show to throw you off the scent of the other problems I had going on. So
I mean, it's not uncommon, right?
Yeah, so I regret that, and I look back at the wasted time that I spent that I could have been doing things positively. So, like, this is part of my way of giving back as well. Like, I finally get to be myself, be friendly, you just give back and try to make other people's lives better. Like, I like to think that other people will see, or other trans people and stuff will see me and be like, oh, okay, she's doing it, maybe I can do it, or try to bring positivity over the negativity that I caused earlier in my life.
You know me, I'm all about that, for sure. And I actually have kind of a funny story to tell you in regards to the thing that you'd like to wipe over and wipe clean, maybe start over, do it a little differently. So make it brief and to the point. But my kiddo, right, who is also trans, right, non-binary, got into some teenage trouble. They're 13. Got into some teenage trouble. Same type of trouble that I got into when I was a kid, because I was also one of those kids that was snide and rude and crude and tried to shock people with my actions and my words. So like you were preaching to the choir, sister. I totally get it. But got themselves into a heap of trouble. And there was a point in time where I was helping them out with it, and my partner and I were helping them out with it. And I was looking at what was happening, and I was like, yeah, I did this when I was a kid. Oh, man. I called mom, was like, I just want to let you know, I am terribly sorry for everything that I put you through when I was a kid. I understand now. I'm really sorry. It's okay. I understand. I love you. Love you too.
I feel so bad for my parents. I sit there and I'm like, I did so many terrible things. And like, I would go to school, and the only reason I went to school was to play Magic, and I would do no work. They would just throw me away into a room and to be by myself. I come back out for lunch to play Magic, and then I go back about my business. I was a bad kid.
I mean, but look, you know, it's the what does the saying go? It's never too old to change, right? And never too old to learn,
exactly.
And never too old to learn and change. So I am also in that boat, and I've been trying myself to do the same thing as you, and just kind of like push forward and be positive and try to give back wherever you can.
Exactly.
And yeah, I just want the people around me that I know, or even if I don't know them, I still wish them, you know, positive vibes and happiness, because everybody deserves it, right? No matter what.
But like when I see my friends happy, it makes me happy.
Yep.
So, like, as long as I'm keeping everybody around me happy, I'm doing my job.
See, I knew we connected on more than just the surface level, you know?
Exactly.
One last part is going to be our copy effects, the meat and potatoes, right? So the fun stuff. Let's start by going over some stuff, and then we'll say yes or no, or if you got a different idea. But okay, so Blue Sun's Twilight, we want to use that. It's the new good. We're on new Phyrexia. We want the good stuff. Absolutely. Cackling Counterpart. Instant speed, 1 and 2 blue, create a token that's a copy of a creature you control, and it has flashback for 5 and 2 blue.
Flashback, I like it.
Yep, I'm always good with flashback.
If I can cast something, anything that gives me value, where I can cast a card twice, or if I can get double value out of things. You've seen my Ashnod deck. I like double value.
You sure do. You like quintuple, and
it's disgusting. Oh my god. I'm building a new version of it, and it is ugh.
I mean, don't get me wrong. I know why you took me out that game in the way that you did, because if that Bane of Progress came down, you were blown out. But yeah, no, I understand the loops and the fun stuff that you can do in that deck whenever you want, once it's set up. It's very...
Yep. I understand. Sometimes I need to be put down before I become a problem. And you know what? If I die first, I know I did things right.
Right. It's like, well, I was targeted. I knew. Yep. I was the threat at least once. So, yep. Clever Impersonator. 2 and 2 blue, can copy any non-land permanent on the battlefield.
Yes.
One of my favorite clone effects for sure.
Yep.
Then there's just straight up clone, the OG. Now I know that you have been playing just as long as I have. Exactly. It's just the old school clone.
Exactly. I like to use the old one that has the crazy wording as well, just so.
Right, just clone.
That way, when I play with noobs, they'll be like, "Yeah, try to figure out what this does."
Go ahead, read it if you can.
Look what I used to have to do when I was like 8. Enjoy.
We have Double Major. Are you familiar with? So Strixhaven.
Yeah, I like Double Major. Is that the one control target?
So you go to cast the creature, and then while it's on the stack, you're flashing. You're going to put this at instant speed, and it'll copy. It'll even copy. It will copy legendaries, except it will come in as a non-legendary.
Let us keep it, just because with Wilson, especially like the first time you cast Wilson, having 2 Wilsons for 4 mana is not bad.
Right? I would say so. We kept the Seeker's Chariot in because cats.
And I love the Seeker's Chariot.
And it also creates a token that's a copy of a token. So, like...
Exactly.
I know that we don't have a tremendous amount of token stuff, but also you can just make tokens of your cats that came in. So... Yes. Growing the cat army. Because we have other things that can turn those wonderful cats into bio-visionaries.
Which is wonderful.
Which is wonderful. So, you know what? I'm actually very keen on that. I like that because it can essentially just keep copying its own creatures and just pumping out more and more and more. So I think that's awesome.
Yeah.
Glasspool Mimic is our MDFC. I feel we should definitely keep that in there.
Yeah.
2 and a blue. It just copies a creature you control.
Yep.
Easy peasy. Helm of the Host.
Of course.
Okay, we don't even have to talk about Helm of the Host.
Yep.
Mirage Mirror.
Mirage Mirror. Yeah, Mirage Mirror.
I mean, I think that it's flexible. It turns back into an artifact at the end of your turn, and you can do fun, stupid stuff with it. Especially in the fact that it can be a land, an enchantment, or a creature. So, yeah. I like that. Mirror Image, again, another 3 mana value copy effect of a creature you control. Now let's go through the rest of them, because I think that things like Mirror Image might actually come out, might be one of the ones that get cut, just because it's kind of just 3 mana copies. You need to have something of your own. At least with the Glasspool Mimic, it's a land on the other side. So
see, that is the problem too. Is like any clones that are just cloning our stuff on our side of the board.
I'm gonna move that to.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna shift it to the other side, which is fine. Phantasmal Image.
Phantasmal Image.
Arguably one of the best. Arguably maybe the best clone in the game
mana
for
clone.
for the mana value of it, right?
And especially in this deck too, because it's something we can go grab.
Yep.
With our finales and our other things here.
Absolutely. I mean, if you say no to this card, we might have to just stop the video now.
Just be like, this is over. Get out of here.
Phyrexia Metamorph.
I love Phyrexia.
Of course you do. I mean, who doesn't?
I pay life and I get to clone things on anywhere.
So this is a really fun one that I ran into. Polymorphous Rush. 2 and a blue. It has Strive. So it'll cost 1 and a blue more for each other target beyond the first. You choose a target creature, and then any number of target creatures you control become a copy of that creature until the end of the turn.
Wonderful. I did not know about this.
And it's an instant speed.
Oh, it is. Okay, for Theros. See if I have one of those.
You might. It's not,
I'm sure I probably have one somewhere.
Certainly not top tier tech from the Theros block, but in this deck, I mean, I think it's great. Next one is one of my favorites, Protean Thaumaturge. It's a 1/1 for 1 and a blue that has Constellation. Whenever an enchantment enters the battlefield, you can have it become a copy of another target creature, except it also has this ability. So, now, let me switch. I'm going to disable tags real quick. We only have 8 enchantments, which is kind of an issue. Yeah. So, I kind of think, even though it's a fan favorite of mine, personally, it's one of my personal faves, I think that it probably won't fit in this real well, which is fine because we still have a couple of cards to cut.
I think we can fit other things. Yeah, and there's other creatures we can put in there.
Right. Next one we got is Quasi Duplicate. You want to talk about value from the graveyard? It has Jumpstart.
Jumpstart. I'm all in.
All in on it. Perfect.
I like Jumpstart.
Obviously, we have a Rite of Replication in here.
Yep.
We all know what Rite does because it does it really well, especially if you have the mana for it.
On my list over here, I was like, oh, and I know you're listing off the ones right now, but I do have a new one that I would like to add.
Ooh, what?
Mirage Mockery. It is a sorcery. You choose one.
Got it.
Create a token that's a copy of target artifact creature you control, or you can create a token that's a copy of target non-artifact creature you control.
Or you can entwine it.
Entwine it. So for 6, you get to do both, which is great.
Was this in the Ashnod deck?
No, it's not in my Ashnod deck, but it's brand new to New Phyrexia.
Oh, okay, cool.
It's one of the set booster cards.
Super cool.
Commander cards.
No, that's great. I like that a lot, actually.
Yeah, like, I love Entwine, so, like, and, I like double value out of things.
I mean, yeah, worst comes to worst, you make a clone for 3. It's a clone for 3 with an additional ability on it, which is fantastic. So yeah, 100%. We're good. We're super good.
There's a lot of artifact creatures running around all over the place. So
yeah. Sakashima of 1,000 Faces.
Yes.
Obviously, we gotta have Sokka.
Random decks.
Gotta have Sokka, and obviously, if we have Sokka, we got Sakashima's Will. So, are you familiar with the full text of Sakashima's Will? Choose a creature you control. Okay. Each other creature you control becomes a copy.
That works out very nicely with what we're trying to do.
Spark Double.
I never get to use that other half.
The target opponent chooses a creature they control. You gain control of it. I mean, I guess
the other half. The first half is usually what I use.
Oh, really? Oh, yeah. I mean, yeah. Well, in this deck, we're probably. I mean, I guess in a pinch, right? It's It's a little bit of that thing's big and scary, and it's gonna kill me next turn.
Just take that.
I'm just gonna take that.
Spark Double.
Spark Double.
Always take.
Okay.
Yeah, Spark Double is great.
Theoretical Duplication. This says, whenever a non-token creature enters the battlefield under an opponent's control this turn, create a token that's a copy of that creature. So it's kind of like protection. If somebody's going, like you think they're going to go nuts or whatever the case may be, because it's not casting as long as it enters the battlefield. So if they're gonna, go dig through their deck and drop stuff right onto the battlefield for free, you're cheating it. You cast this and you get copies of them. It's kind of like a gotcha moment. So.
Yeah, I've tried it a couple of times, and every time I just cannot. Either it's just dead in my hand.
Okay.
something doesn't happen. Or I wait too long, or I choose the wrong moment.
We have 10.
It might just be my fault.
We have 10 bits of removal, so like I think it's okay. I think we'll be fine without it for sure.
Okay.
The last one we have is Vesuvian Diplomacy.
Oh yeah, I like that card.
It's
I've been trying to
so good.
It does so many silly things.
It's so good. Copying spells that, like, guess what? All of our stuff is going to copy because they're target clone stuff. So it's just like duplicating all this stuff. It's wild. So I saw that and laughed.
Part of me just wants to put a venerated rot priest in here just for the amusement of it, because every time we're targeting with clones, we're poisoning everybody.
Or you just get copies of the Rock Priest out and target something once.
Yeah, it was just...
You know what? No, we're putting... We're doing it.
We're monsters. Okay, let's do this.
I love it.
You should see Ivy with venerated.
I love this card.
Part of me is just kind of like, we should throw Ivy in here.
What is a removal ramp? Support. Okay. So, all right. So let me switch. I'm going to disable the tags again. All right. So we have 34 lands, including the MDSC. We are currently 2 cards over. Now, I think that we can probably, let's see. We can definitely, I feel, ditch a couple of copy effects. What do you think? Where do you think we should trim a bit?
For the copy effects, I would almost say let's not get rid of the creature ones that we have, just because we are gonna need a board presence of some sort.
All right. Well, let's do something like this. You want to choose between well,
quasi duplicate we could cast twice, which is nice. So
since we are doing the whole deck clones, why don't we dump Rite of Replication?
I can see that.
Just because, like, it's 4 mana to clone one thing, and then to get the real bonus from it, you have to dump it 5 more mana into it. It's costly. So I think we can shift that. Yeah, we can shift that. There's nothing worse when
it gets mana drained or something too.
Right.
Or spending all your mana for the turn and getting nothing is always terrible.
Yeah. And let's see. So we have we are 1 card over right now. Well, you know what? Let's do this. We're going to go over the land base last, and then we can see where we're going to cut one thing. But we have one more question for you.
Woohoo!
So, considering we just finished up like the support and the big not the support but like the meat and potatoes, right? Who and or what are you watching these days? Whether it be streaming, just content creators, TV shows, like what are you consuming? And that could be anything.
We're gonna be here a long time now. Currently, let's see. TV-wise, I just finished Game of Thrones, Blood of the Dragon.
Okay,
now
dope.
Gonna go watch Lord of the Rings and Wheel of Time now, finally. So those are on my other list of fantasy shows. I have to have a fantasy show that I'm watching, and a comedy show, and then like a drama that I'm watching.
You're speaking my language.
Yeah, so like I gotta have multiple shows. I just finished the show The Recruit, which is fantastic. It's on Netflix, and it's silly spy stuff.
Okay.
Like, it's funny and action-packed, and yeah, it's really well written and fast-paced.
I'm always open for new stuff to watch.
Yeah, it was pretty sweet. Comic books, I've been reading all my X-Men stuff, keep catching up on that stuff in the evening times after streams. Ant-Man's coming out next week.
I think Ant-Man comes out when we're in Philly.
Yes, I know, and I'm not allowed to go see it. I was told I was not allowed to go see it.
I was gonna say if that wasn't a clause in a contract you signed, I would say why don't we go sneak out during Magic Philly to go watch it? But
I'm just like
I get it.
I'm so excited about Kang. Kang is gonna destroy everybody.
Well, I mean,
for the next couple of years.
And I don't, to be perfectly honest, I don't think they couldn't have picked a better person. I mean, Jonathan Majors is amazing.
He's such a good actor.
He's so good.
I'm so excited to see him playing all the different versions of Kang throughout movies, because I'm sure that's what's coming.
Yeah, and like that's what I'm so pumped about, right? Is that like he's gonna play an infinite number of characters, which is amazing, mind blowing.
It's so cool. Like, I'm living in my golden age right now. Like, everything that I was into as a kid that I got beaten up for or picked on for is all super popular now. And now I'm like talking to jocks and things about superheroes. I don't know what's happening anymore.
Right? It's like the world just got, the COVID turned the world upside down, and all of a sudden, boom, here we are.
Okay. I'm like, I'm not gonna complain.
Any streamers or content creators that you've been watching recently, or anything like that you want to put out there?
I have all of my people that I hang out with each month, like Jen and Donnie are awesome. And there's Davey and Neo, and there's Jarvis, and there's pretty much anybody that you find on my Twitter that the crew, the homies, streaming with. Yeah, if you see anybody I'm streaming, yeah, give them a follow. They are some of the nicest people, and if you want to stream and play games with them, I highly recommend most of the people on my list.
I can co-sign that also. I've played with the majority of them too.
Yeah, I was like,
for sure.
Basically, our circles and things are just awesome people to know, and like they are very positive to the community and bring joy to my life. So I'm sure they can bring joy to your life as well.
Push the people that you love and get other people exposed, because you already know that they're good people and they put out good energy, and you want other people to experience that, because
like
that's what this is.
Friends to succeed. Yeah, and like I want to see my friends succeed. Like if they're succeeding, then it doesn't really matter what's going on with me. I see them happy, and that's cool.
So we are gonna go and we're gonna wrap it up and go over the land base real quick. Okay. So I know that I think you tell me, do you like where we're at right now, even though we're only one card over? Because I have a bit of a workaround for that, to where we don't really need to take anything out necessarily, and we can still have the same effects that we want. So let's just do we'll do the land base first. Let's just right now just think that we have 100 cards, because I have a plan. So
just act like it.
Right, exactly. So we got 9. I think we did snow covered. It's funny. Okay. I have 9 snow covered forest. I have 7 snow covered islands, and then I have a single regular forest for some reason. Let's just remove that single forest, and we'll put 1 more snow covered, because you know what? I'm also with you. I like using snow covered stuff sometimes.
Me too. If I have them, I'll use them.
So we got Command Tower. We got a Dream Root Cascade. Evolving Wilds, Fabled Passage, Ghost Quarter, unless you want me to just flip that out and put a Wastes, or
what is the new
or not a Waste,
Demolition Field, I think, is the new one. It costs money or mana.
All this Demolition Field, let's see.
Yeah, but we get a land as well.
Tap, colorless, 2-tap, sack, destroy target non-base and land that opponent controls. That land's controller may search your library for a land, put onto the battlefield and shuffle. You may search your library for basic. Yeah, that is, I would say, strictly better than Ghost Quarter.
Yeah, I would rather pay the mana, destroy the land, and get something back, because
100%
it stinks losing
land. Okay, so we're going to shift that over. Fabled Passage, Lumbering Falls. I don't know if I'm a fan of Lumbering Falls. I mean, granted, you can turn it into a creature.
Not great. I would trade it in with a breeding pool.
Are you a fan of Mosswort Bridge?
I am.
I don't know in this deck, though.
In this deck, I don't think so, because the total power of 10 might actually be harder to get to.
So we're gonna pop that out, and let's see.
There's lots of better versions.
Is there another? What's the blue-green land from the battle bond cycle?
Oh, that one is
Oh, the pathway, right? Or the
Yeah. Well, the henge pathway is one that we can change it out with.
There it is. Bark channel pathway, tie channel pathway.
Yeah. I like those.
Yep.
I like.
No, I love them too. I like them a lot actually. So, all right, cool.
Plus, Caltype, I was just buying boxes just because I wanted the lands out. Like, I'll take some more.
Let's see. Opal Palace puts counters on things.
It's not great. It's slow.
It is slow. All right,
And we're not really looking to do counters anyway, so it's not like
we're gonna remove that. We removed it. Which is part of my plan. So what I was going to do was I was going to actually remove Noxious Revival and then put in the MDFC that gets a card from your graveyard.
Oh yeah, that one.
Balagan Recovery, Balagan Sanctuary.
Maybe I do have all the magic cards memorized.
Maybe I do.
The autistic brain in Magic, for some reason, yeah. Like, I can remember thousands of Magic cards, but I can't remember simple sciences in math.
Listen, you're not alone. I'm with you, sister. Like I'm telling you.
Like, do you need to know all the Magic cards? I'll tell you those.
I know a lot of. I mean, don't get me wrong. Like my brother-in-law plays. He's not like a super crazy avid player, but I got him into it, and you know, he's like his mind's blown when he's like, "So I'm gonna do this." I'm like, "You have this in your hand, don't you?" He's like, "How do you know this?" I'm just like, "First off, I built the deck for you, dude. So like, I get it." But all right. So Path of Ancestry. I think that's okay to keep in, even though it's a little slow.
Well, but it does give us both mana, and it does let us scry,
Yeah.
which is always good. Even though we won't be sharing any creature types, though, will we? 'Cause most of the creatures...
Yep. No, that's a good point. Yeah, we gotta pull that one.
I learned my lesson the other night because I had Feltagriff out as my commander. I was like, there's no more Feltagriffs in here.
I mean, do you want to put a fetch in?
Yeah, let's put a fetch in.
All right. What's the green blue fetch?
Blue fetch lands. That's right. Fetch lands. Cycle.
People are going to be screaming watching this.
How
How do you not know? What?
We don't play Simic here. That's why, everyone. That's why.
I can't remember it all.
Simic. What is it? Oh, it's Misty Rainforest.
Misty, right.
Now I feel dumb.
Yeah, so do I. You're not alone. We're both going to sit here feeling... We're both going to be here feeling dumb together.
Yeah. Be like,
Quandrix Campus.
Quandrix Campus, it does what we need. That's the thing, is a lot
It's
of
okay.
it's slow.
I mean,
It depends on how fast we want to speed things up, because, like, a lot of times that's how I change the power levels of my deck.
Right.
Is, like, just having a slower mana base. So.
well, I mean, let's just keep it, and then when I'm playtesting it, and you're if you playtest it or whatever, if it feels, like, just because we're creating the deck for the episode, it's going to be an ongoing thing. You and I are going to be co-creators of it, and I urge people to check it out, comment on it, suggest stuff, whatever, because there's tens of thousands of Magic cards out there, and we cannot possibly figure out all of the super great ones to put in here. So, totally fine. Simic Growth Chamber, same thing. Let's keep it. It's fine. We got the 10 Forest, 7 Islands, Vine Glimmer Snarl, War Room, and Yavimaya Coast. I think
don't like the Snarl. I don't like.
You don't like the Snarl?
It just makes me. I don't know. It does. It's slow, and you have to reveal a card. I hate giving away information.
Well, it's not. I mean, it still comes in. It comes in untapped if you're showing a forest or an island. I mean, whatever.
Yeah.
We have 10 forests and 7 islands, so like.
That is true. Okay, you talked me into it.
It's not terrible. I mean, don't get me wrong. Yes, there are better ones to put in for sure, but
yeah.
It's not. I mean, we're doing filthy sevens here. You know what I mean? Let's.
Yeah.
I'm like.
We're already being pretty gross. So.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, like the fact that as long as the mana base works with us, we're gonna do some really fun shit.
Yeah.
Like we put in the venerated rot priest in there, like. But yeah, I think we're good. That's solid. Yeah, I like where we're at. What do you think?
I think it's pretty good. I want to try it out, actually.
We got 23 creatures. We got 34 lands, plenty of instants and sorceries and stuff like that. Yeah, I think this is going to be super fun. And guess what? The best part about it being on Moxfield is that you can play test it on Spell Table.
That is very true.
And then if it's something that you want, you can go ahead and just use the site and pick up the parts if you need them, or rip through your collection like I usually do, piece the thing together, and it's go time. However, I'm probably just going to print it up because I wanted immediately to start playing with people, because that's what I want to do after I build the deck with my friends. I'll hopefully have a copy of it with me in Magic Philly.
Oh yeah,
so
I can play against you next week.
Yep, 100%. And then
I'll surprise you by playing the same exact deck and not tell you.
Well, I mean, so yeah. Sit down.
I've cloned your deck.
You want to talk about clone game? How about this? I just cloned your whole deck. Okay, cool. So in the wrap up portion of it, is there anything you want to ask me? Or you want to tell me any fun facts? You want to ask me anything?
I don't have any questions. You should have asked before and I would have come up with something. I can't come up with stuff off the top of my head, John.
That's okay. It's totally fine. I mean, I don't.
Yeah.
It's not
tell us
specific.
who your next guest is?
To be honest, I have no idea who it's going to be right now. Yeah, I got a bunch of people have the paperwork I make everybody fill out. They all have their sheets. Well, I just want to make sure people know what they're getting into.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And that helps.
It does. And like I said, I want it to be casual. I want it to be fun. I want it to be relaxing. So, yeah, let's wrap it up. Do we want to give this a fun name? Lily picked the fun name, so I figured we would pick a fun name too.
Lily has the longest names in the world. I'm like, and my other friend, our Tom, there, Spring Dweller, he always comes up with fancy names.
I love it. I mean, we can do something. I mean, let's.
I just had a secret. My name was just silly. I just had Secret Agent Wilson as my, which is not super exciting.
Well, we'll do Secret. That is not that.
We
Secret.
can always change it if we need to.
Secret Agent.
If we come up with something funny.
Secret Agent Bear 2.0.
There we go.
Awesome. There it is. Episode 2. We are going to go ahead and we are going to make this a public deck now, which is fantastic. I will go ahead and make you a co-creator. Your request is pending for that, so we can take care of that later. Oh, wait, hold on. No, it's not. It's good. No problem. Going to go back here. Going to go back to the deck list. Here we are. Perfect. So that is it. Emmara, I hope you had fun BSing with me and collabing on a deck and stuff like that. I think this deck looks super fun to pilot and play. Everybody, do not forget to check out Emmara Goddessofblunder on Twitch. Sundays, 1 p.m., 9 p.m., Wednesdays, 9 p.m., and Fridays, 9 p.m. Fantastic guests. She's a wonderful host. It's super entertaining, whether you're watching it or whether you're in the game playing with her and all the guests. Do you want to say anything before we dip out of here?
I just want to thank everybody, because without everybody else, everybody who's helped me either have me guest on their streams or come and guest on my own streams, I can't do what I do without you, so I appreciate you all. Just thank you.
I appreciate you, and I thank you very much for coming on to the show.
Yeah, it was a blast. Thank you for having me.
You're very welcome.
It was a lot of fun. I could sit here and talk about magic and do magic stuff all day long.
All day long, so that's why I have to police us.
Yes, we have to put a time limit on it.
All right, so that'll be it. Episode 2 in the books. I will catch everybody on the flip side. Peace.
Bye, everybody.